Welcome to this episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. I'm Aric.
And I'm Angie.
We are married with a ton of kids.
We have 6 kids total. He has 3 and I have 3.
My name's Hallie and I love riding horses.
I'm Lexi and I love agriculture.
My name's Carter and I love eating.
My name's Chase and I love lifting weights.
My name's Sommer and I love spending my parents' money.
I'm Dane and I love baseball.
Our show is about our blended, blessed, and always a mess life. And our hope is if you find yourself in the same situation we are in, that by sharing our story, all the fun and all the mess, the challenges we are experiencing, it will give you some inspirations, laughs, and community, knowing you are not alone in this mess.
We appreciate you spending time with us. Let's dive in.
Today's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess is brought to you by Top-Notch Clothing. You know, our family loves to stay in shape, and so we need a lot of different workout gear. And myself, Angie, and the kids have started to love wearing Top-Notch. They've got men's and women's apparel, shorts, t-shirts, leggings. The fit on it is so good, and I love their hats. I'm a big hat guy, and you can literally get the hat super dirty, and it just washes right off with some soap and water. It's absolutely fantastic. Look, if you haven't found workout gear that works for you, then check out the website, tnclothing.com, and you can get 15% off your first order when you use promo code BLESSED at checkout. Top-Notch Clothing. Check them out, tnclothing.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess, where this week we're going to be talking about dreams, because I think they are important, and especially with Hallie being gone, that's one of the things that our family really enjoys. And I've had a dream or two about Hallie. Angie has, other people in our family, but not everybody has had a Hallie dream. And so then people start to think and worry and wonder about those things. And so we actually have brought on one of our crew members today to discuss a recent happening. Sommer B is going to be joining us.
Hey, Sommer. She just rolled out of bed and it's noon on a Tuesday.
Typical teenager.
Whoops. Yeah, you know, when talking about dreams, I think anytime you lose someone that's super close to you, you miss their face. You miss seeing them. You miss talking to them, hearing their voice, all of the things. And, you know, sometimes I think people fear having a dream about someone, like that it's scary. But I think for our entire crew and even her close friends and family that have had dreams about her, you wake up and it's like, oh my gosh, you feel like comforted and you feel like she is close to you. So I've had a couple just quick little dreams where Hallie popped in, I'm talking to her and I was able to give her a hug. And it's like weird because you know she's gone. It's not like you think she's back. It's like you know she's gone, but like I actually felt giving her a hug, what that was like. And so she's shown up at different times for most people. But Sommer has been sad because she's not dreamt about Hallie yet. And her and Lexi were the ones that had not had dreams up until recently. Lexi had one with Hallie in it. And Sommer was like, you know, is Hallie mad at me? Because she's not showing up for me and she's showing up for other people. And so it's just it's an interesting thing. I've always felt comforted if I see her or I even hear that someone else had her in a dream. One week, like I had 3 or 4 people reach out to me that were like, oh my gosh, Hallie was in a dream and I hugged her. It was like a hugging week. It was like random people talking about hugs. So anyway, I posted the pictures that Aric and Sommer randomly decided to take on a Sunday night. Chase and I were still in Florida putting furniture away at Hallie's house, and Sommer went with Aric to visit his mom in the nursing home, and they randomly decided, Aric came up with this idea to go buy these sunflower fields at Mizzou CAFNR program planted, which Hallie was a part of the CAFNR program, and they're just amazing pictures. I posted them on social. But the crazy thing about that is they stopped when Sommer was dressed like a homeless person. She had her big joggers and a T-shirt. It was like not even planned for like a photo shoot. And he took a few pictures and, you know, the sky was pretty. There's some clouds. And they decided to go home and change outfits and really do a photo shoot. And they come back and the sky and the pictures were unbelievable, beautiful, and it looked like Sommer had a halo above her. It was just amazing. So I'm going to pause there because I got home late that night. Chase and I did around 11:30. Sommer gave me a hug, and then she was in bed. And so she wakes up the next day, and I'm talking to her, and she's like, Mom, I had a dream about Hallie. And she tells me this dream, and we're both bawling. Bawling. So I'm like, Sommer, you gotta come on our podcast, and you have to tell all about the dream. So
I do apologize. There's going to be some yawning that I can't edit out. And that's still our 14-year-old over there just rolling out of bed at 12 o'clock trying to get this done. It's, here you go. The big sleeper in the house gets to talk about what it was like to be asleep and see your big sister.
Okay, so 2 months before, I would everyone was having dreams about her. Things would happen that would show that she was there and stuff. And I would try, nothing would happen to me. I kept thinking that she was mad at me or something. And because Mom was just pray for her to be in your dreams. And I would, and nothing would happen. So I just kind of gave up. And so I was just worried about that. And then I went to sleep. But that night that I went to sleep, Lexi had told me she had a dream about Hallie. And I was just I was happy for her, but I was just jealous basically because I hadn't. And I was the last one that hasn't because it was just me and her that had to have it. And then now it was just me. So I thought she was mad at me or something. But I went to bed that night early.
When she says early, she means at 11 p.m.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, all right.
Just clarify.
She goes to bed at 11, and then getting up early is 12 o'clock the next day.
So I went to bed early, and then so my dream basically was we were at a golf cart shop in Florida, and me and Chase had drove our golf cart there, and we I don't know why it was a golf cart shop, but we go to leave, and we couldn't leave because Hallie was standing there talking to my other grandpa, and I had the same mindset as I do now. So I still had all the questions and all that stuff. So I get out and I walk up to her and I'm like, is this a dream? Is this real? And she was like, no, it's not a dream. This is real. And so then I give her a hug because that's the ultimate test, because if it's just there's nothing there, then it's not real. And so then I gave her a big hug, and then Chase got out and gave her a hug too. And then she came back with us to the Florida house. And we just did, it was just normal for her to be there. And we just did, stuff that we would normally do, watch movies and stuff like that. So then I went to bed that night, expecting to wake up the next morning and her not be there because I still thought it was a dream. And for some reason, we, transported to the house here. And I woke up in my bed, so I thought that it was, it wasn't real. And I woke up and I go out in the kitchen, and she's just sitting at the kitchen table eating cereal. And I was like, oh. And so then
you're still here, hanging out with us.
And so then I was talking to Mom about it, in the dream, and I was she was she said this is the longest she's ever been around. I don't know what she meant by that, but
because most of the time. It's just, I think it's interesting that that's what was said in your dream, because most of the time she pops in for 2 seconds, but you hung out with her for a couple of days. That was your dream. And so I think that's her way of telling you hey, you had to wait a long time, but I'm hanging out with you the most.
So she came in my room, or we just hung out for 3 days basically. And just did stuff we would normally do, and it was just normal for her to be there. It was how it was before. And then on the third night, I went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning, and she had Snapchatted me. And so, we didn't even we Snapchatted maybe once a week. We didn't really Snapchat that much. And she sent me a Snapchat, so I opened it, and it was a picture of an angel. It was a white screen, and then there was just an angel in it, and she was wearing a white dress, and she had wings, and she was just glowing.
Which I love to hear that.
Yeah. And so she sent me that, and I saved it in the chat. If you don't know what that means, you just save it, and then I screenshotted it because in case you were to delete it, because if you save it in the chat, you're not saving it to your camera. So then I screenshotted it in case she deleted it or something, and then she texts me, and she was Summer, can't you see, like, I'm right here? Like, just open your eyes. You have to look around. Like, you just have to try and look. And I'm like, here, I'm all around you, and I'll always look out for you. And so then after that, I woke up. But then I didn't realize that I had that dream until, like, I woke up and I wasn't in the dream. Because I, like, looked in my, like, I still thought I was in the dream. So I, like, looked at my phone and I went in my camera roll to see if that picture was still in there. And it wasn't. So I was like, yeah, that was a dream because... So, yeah, it was just that.
How did you feel when you woke up from that dream?
I feel like I could do anything. Run through a brick wall, run a marathon, you got it.
Because you felt like,
yeah.
Why?
Because it was just nice to see her again because I hadn't actually seen her in so long.
Yeah.
And so, like, seeing her and hearing her voice was just, like, and giving her a hug was...
It's comforting.
Yeah.
And why I wanted her to share this dream, too, is, like, I feel like she had a message for you. Like, I am here, even though, like, you can't see me. I'm here, and I feel like it's crazy, weird timing between the halo of the clouds for you when you were taking pictures to your dream. And it's just hard. It's hard to live without your big sister, but when you get little glimpses, it gives you enough fuel to kind of keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you miss most about Hallie?
I miss the most that she was, like, always a fun time and, like, lively party animal. There was never a dull moment, and she was just fun. You don't really get that out of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And she could also be, like, really sweet and nice, and she would always pick me up if I needed to be picked up from somewhere or drive me somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say she also was very, like, fair, balanced person. Like, she'd call you out on your shit, too. You know what? You need to remember your stuff. Remember that time you called her to, you forgot something at the house, and you called her to come pick it up for you, and she's like, no, I'm not going to. You need to start remembering.
Yeah.
You miss those parts too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I think that makes a lot of sense because you do. You've got the parts of her that you miss more than other parts where you wish you could just spend time with your big sister and you guys could go do something fun, drive around, get ice cream or whatever that is. And, I know my dreams with Hallie, they always make me feel good. Like you said, like you could run through a brick wall. I always feel like I wake up and I just feel really full of life and happiness. But for her to spend that kind of time with you after being gone for so long, it's 8 months this weekend as we release this podcast, it is for her to show up and spend in a dream 3 days. None of us have gotten that kind of time with Hallie in a dream. I think that's incredibly important for you to recognize that your sister's with you. Like she's not, and as she said to you in the dream, like, Summer, look around, like I'm always here. I think it is easy sometimes to forget that and to kind of feel like you're maybe not having that connection when really, if you do look for, as people always say to us, if you look for the signs, they are there.
What happened to your phone after that? You were on the couch telling me about this, and you pulled up something on your phone.
Oh, a TikTok came up on my phone.
And it was the John 13:7 quote. Yeah. Right after that, I'm like, oh my God, that's her again, like and reminding
it was, like, you. Saying, I will not cause pain without... So.
No, it was the one of, you don't know what I'm doing, but someday you will.
Oh, yeah. It was like, you don't know what you don't understand or something right now, but you will later or something like that. And it was like the guy was like talking about how that you just have to be like patient and wait and then.
Yeah, it's just crazy. What would you tell Hallie if you saw her right now?
Come back.
Right, I know. Such a huge hole in our family.
I don't know what I would tell her. I would have to think about that.
Yeah. For me, I do think about when I would meet her again, if I would see her again, and I would run my ass off to her and give her the biggest hug and just want to know everything.
Yeah, I would want to. I would just.
What are you doing? What's it like?
A bunch of questions.
Yeah, but I can tell you she loves you and she's not mad at you, Sommer.
I hope not.
You got to protect her out there for you for the rest of your life.
That's one benefit you could say.
Yes, it's one benefit. You got someone looking out for you. Okay,
I'm done with this. Bye.
Well, I just want to say thanks for sharing that on here. I know you don't absolutely love being on a podcast, but this dream meant a lot to you. So I think our listeners would love to hear it.
Well, like no one knows about that dream, so.
Yeah.
Now they do.
Now they do.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to let you go back to bed.
Actually,
I'm not going to bed. I'm being productive today.
All right. What are you going to do?
My chores that my mom gave me and clean my room because it's a mess.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Workout.
Yeah. Soccer practice.
Yeah.
If you get it all done in time, got some UVs.
Oh, yeah. What's the UV rays today?
Probably like 8.
Summer's my mini. She's a lot like her mama in that we love the sun, so she always checks the UV rays to see.
Actually, it's mostly cloudy today, so it's probably not going to be that high.
Oh,
Yeah, the high today is 6, so I will not be outside.
no. Okay. You know what you could do is go through your closet and, pick out stuff you want to sell. Make some money.
If you guys want to buy my clothes from me, then I need money and I'm broke, and I have a pretty good closet, so...
Summer's the one that says she likes to spend her parents' money. So her and I love to shop.
I hope no one takes that the wrong way.
No, but her and I both love to shop and love fashion and all that fun stuff.
Since this is a closet clean out, and I'm pretty sure I know who bought all that, do we get half the profit?
No.
Wow, it seems
because
unfair.
that clothes has been with me more than it's been with you. So.
Okay, all right. You're dismissed.
Okay.
You are dismissed.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to visit with her and hear about her dream. I know how special that was to her as it is to the rest of us, but she was starting to worry a little bit.
She was definitely struggling. Even a few weeks ago, she was like, Mom, sometimes I have a hard time sleeping because she's wondering about Hallie and thinking about her and felt like there was some reason why she hadn't shown up in her dream. So, it's hard on kids when they go through that. And I know everybody misses her so much, but I know Sommer really misses her and wants to be able to call her and talk to her about stuff. And it's just hard. Yeah. You have to have the conversations too, to know what's really bothering them. So I'm just so grateful. You could just tell she feels so much better after she saw her in a dream. And, everybody has different beliefs of dreams and what they mean. And if it's really, someone appearing and giving you that message, or it's just part of the grieving process and what you're thinking about. There's a lot of different analysis around dreams. But regardless of that, I know I wake up comforted when I see her in a dream.
We've all seen her in the dreams, and it's always the same. More beautiful than ever, long blonde hair. Mm-hmm. And that's how we know Hallie would be. What we've come to believe in life, and I think about this too, whenever I've seen my dad in a dream, he's always a young version of himself. He's never an old man. That movie you were talking about last week,
Heaven's for Real.
Heaven's for Real. In that movie, one of the reasons he starts to have the conversations because the little boy's talking about his pop. And he shows me pictures like, no, that's not him. And then he shows me young pictures like, yeah, that's Pop. And I do think you get to heaven and you take on your best bodily form. I think that's very biblical that, heaven is the absolute best version of yourself. And so I think that Hallie is definitely that in heaven, this just blonde, beautiful young woman that is happier than ever and doing more things than she's ever done in her life. And so glad that now everyone can feel better. I know Lexi, a couple days before that, was feeling really good. One thing we should probably ask Sommer was that probably made you feel bad then that Lexi had the dream and she was still waiting.
Oh, she did. She was like, she had so many mixed emotions. Like, she was super happy for Lexi, but then it was just like, okay, now why is she not showing up in my dream? And it's hard for kids to have faith too and patience. I tell Sommer all the time, talk to Hallie. I talk to her all the time. I'm constantly talking to her. I love you. I miss you. Watch out for us. Guide us. Watch out for the kids, twins, and all of that stuff. I'm like, you're going to have to trust that she's there watching over you. And, it's just like on our vacation, you hit stumbling blocks and you just have to believe that they're stumbling blocks for a reason.
That's all we can do at this point.
Even going back to our podcast we had last week around traveling, we were supposed to fly down to Florida. Had that happened, Chase's appendix would probably burst. But the reason why we didn't fly is because of closing on the house and just some of the struggles we had around trying to figure out our plans. And you never know why things happen. And that's also really, it's hard as adults. It's really hard for kids at that age who's gone through so much trauma to be able to have the patience and just trust when you can't see.
Yeah.
So
It's hard for me as an adult to have the patience and to trust that God is loving me and is there for me. And it's just difficult. I was having that conversation yesterday with my counselor, and we tend to go to when something bad happens, like, God, why is this happening to me? And really, God's not the one doing those things to you. It's actually the devil doing those bad things to you to try to separate you from God. And so what God then is trying to do is to hold you up and make sure that you know he is with you and he's mourning with you and he's grieving with you and he's still loving you. But our natural tendency, at least for me, I know for other people,
to feel like you're getting punished.
Feel like you're getting punished or that God has done this to you. Yeah, when really it's the devil.
God never said you're having a great life. He did. No. He never said it was going to be easy.
No. Jesus was a man of suffering.
Right. And so part of it is changing that dialogue to what can I learn from this and what does this mean versus why is this happening? Mm-hmm. And I probably overanalyze it too much around trying to figure out why. Okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? What are we supposed to do? What path are we supposed to take? What does this mean type of thing? And just I'm always trying to figure out how you move forward from that and what's plan A, plan B. And that's, I think you more feel like I'm being punished for something. I'm more like trying to figure out what the hell we do with this.
Right.
And neither one of us know how to be still. And that was like one of our aha moments, I feel like, last week or the week before when we were on vacation and all hell was freaking breaking loose of like, what is this supposed to mean? And we do not know how to be still. Either one of us do for a lot of different reasons. And that's something I feel like that we have to work on is how do we stop? And to be freaking honest, that part's scary to me. It's scary for me to sit because when I sit in it, when I pause for a minute, that's when the flood of tears happen because you feel it all versus, man, if I just stay busy and really just try to like live for Hallie, then, you know, I'm going through the motions and I'm not sitting in the suck. And it's hard. Like everybody, you deal with situations differently. Some people freeze. Some people like go nonstop. And I do think that's something that you and I are going to have to really work on at some point.
We have to slow down and be still.
Maybe when things get less busy, we'll slow down.
Right. The caveat, if it gets less busy, we can. And then that never happens. So I do think that's a learning experience for both of us and what we're going to try to figure out and move on and go from there. Mm-hmm. So Hallie's house is coming along. And you and Chase worked your butts off last week. And you got that pretty well off. And now I'm headed down there with some help this weekend to try to finish a few like door handles and hanging some blinds and moving boxes around so that we can start renting it out to people.
Yeah,
going down there and enjoying it with our family, but then renting it out.
A lot of people have asked about that, like if it's just open to family and friends or just open to anybody on Airbnb. So it will be posted on Airbnb for anybody to rent, and it is definitely a very peaceful, tranquil community, which I absolutely love. Like,
quiet neighborhood.
It's so quiet. I could just sit on the porch and you hear the frogs in the lake behind you, and it's so quiet, and that is a great spot to sit in it. Now, the beach is like across the street and like down 2 blocks. It's super close, but you're not on the beach. You're just back off in this like, it's just beautiful.
Tranquil,
trails,
quiet neighborhood.
Trails everywhere. We have bikes there, and it is a little retreat to get away from the craziness, which for us, I feel like when we're home, we're always doing things, and sometimes you have to like go on a long trail ride to gain a different perspective. And there's something about sitting on the beach, staring at the ocean and hearing the waves that gives you a sense of peace. Like you just look around and you're like, wow, like God created all of this. It's the same with the sunflower pictures that we posted on Facebook recently. So freaking beautiful, the sunset and all of that. And I think those are the moments when you can be still and know that God's there.
God's there, Hallie's there. Yeah, for sure.
In those moments.
So with that being said, we're all grateful that Lexi and Sommer finally had dreams. Sommer was able to share hers with us. And we just hope that you have a wonderful week. We appreciate all of you and your prayers. You continue to send those our way. And if you need something prayed for, let us know. We'll pray for you too. Otherwise, have a wonderful week and God bless.
Thank you for listening to Blended Blessed and Always a Mess. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at blendedblessedalwaysamess.com.
Reach out to us on any of our social channels. We would love to hear from you. Have a great week.